Welcome back, ladies and gents. Another episode of GhettoRig. We've been taking a lot of breaks. This stuff was coming out, and sorry for being a little bit late today. Again, stuff is coming out. Anyway, episode 294. 294. My name is Jay. All the way to my right is my co-host Eddie, and behind the cameras we have Miggy.
Yo yo.
Hit pushing the ones and twos. Anyway, boys, how goes it?
It's all good.
Same old, same old. Just staying really busy with work and
Yeah.
construction here at the house. Just a lot of shit going on. I mean, same thing for you boys. I know with because it hasn't. I know it's not like I know we've missed some pods because of me. We missed some pods because of Miggy. We missed some pods because of Jay. It's kind of been an all around. Just everyone's really busy. I don't know what the fuck's going on in this world right now. But if everyone could just do all three of us a favor and chill the fuck out on stuff, maybe that'd be nice.
Yeah.
It's
Like a
been a
little
lot
break.
of stuff, yeah.
Be nice.
Yeah, like today, I just learned I have to go work on Sunday, like all day, basically, from like 8 a.m. to probably 4 or 5 p.m. easily.
God damn.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, I
fucking
was
sucks,
I was working all the way up to now, all day today since 6:30 this morning.
All day working?
Woke up at 6:30, got ready, started driving. 7:30 had a meeting. No, 6:30 woke up. 7 left the house. 7:30 had the meeting, over the phone, and then it's been since 7:30 all the way till 9:30.
So you went to the office today,
14 hours, yeah,
and you were at the office all day, or
all day. I was there till 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, and then you went home now and did more work? Jesus Christ. Work, like, at the office has actually been pretty slack. Like, there hasn't, like today I was waiting on him to get back, like Austin to get back from shooting something to start working on something. I mean, there were some other little things I had to do here and there, but it's more of just been shooting outside the office. That's been a lot. Like, there's been quite a bit amount of shoots.
I finally got a break this week.
I
For
thought I
for
was
that
getting a
fight.
break.
Yeah. Well, I got this last week kind of off. Now this week it's already starting to get booked up. I already have 2 shoots going on. I thought I was gonna get away with another week, but
Yeah, yesterday I asked Austin, I was like, hey, I don't have any shoots like scheduled for the week, right? And he's like, no, up until now you're good. And last night, I think it was, I didn't see the text, but he texted me last night, and he asked if I could shoot on Sunday because he accidentally double booked 2 things.
accidentally.
Well, it was they're doing a TV show shoot on Sunday, and they had scheduled it all the way back in January, and so he did like forget. It's just been so long since they scheduled it, and I don't think he put it in the calendar, but they knew it was this Sunday basically, and he scheduled another shoot this Sunday, like a current one.
That sucks.
Yeah.
So, do you know where the game 3 of the NBA games was happening?
Game 3 happened yesterday
Where?
at MSG,
Which is
Madison Square Garden, which is New York City.
New York City. And when they're playing the national anthem, Trump stood up, went like this, and everybody was booing him.
Really?
Yeah, everybody was booing him.
I did just see a thing that like the suite he was in had like special bulletproof glass all around it, and of course security around the whole place was tightened up more than usual.
And
That's
he
the
basically,
king of New York.
yeah, he basically said he's not gonna go back to another game, and everybody was saying, yeah, everybody was booing him because nobody's happy with him. Blah blah blah. Bro, you're in New York. What do you think was gonna happen? You know, but so there's another thing that's happening. It's a article. Supreme Court ruling on mail-in ballots could reshape California's vote count. The justices are expected to decide this week whether ballots arriving after election day can be counted, potentially affecting 14 states before November's midterm. The Supreme Court is expected to rule this week in Watson versus Republican National Committee, which could bar states from counting mail-in ballots received after Election Day. A ruling against late arriving ballots would affect more than a dozen states, though experts say it wouldn't fix California's slow count driven by Election Day mail-in volume. Trump and Republicans have seized on the drawn-out primary tailing as evidence of this Dysfunction, claim election scholar call, blah blah blah. Basically, the whole idea is that they're calling fraud.
Hey, AC 71. Just check it, just so we don't cook in here.
So they're basically calling fraud because the way the numbers were coming in, it was a pretty even race for the governor. I think it was governor of California or mayor of LA or something like that. Anyway, I don't remember exactly what it was. It was coming in pretty steady, and then the night passes by, and the Democrat candidate goes whoop, you know. So they're like, there's a lot of fraud going on. Like, he only gained like 0.5%, where this other guy gained 15%. It just makes no sense, you know, because if what is it? Just Democrats are mailing, which makes no sense. Like, just numbers don't add up. Don't add up. Like, let's say less Republicans mail than Democrats, right? Okay, let's just say by half. Let's say by quarter. But we're talking about a 1% versus like 15. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. So they're basically talking about that. But then MAGA Inc. plans $1 million per person fundraiser before White House UFC event. Trump's super PAC is scheduled to hold a dinner Saturday in his Virginia Golf Club, and one day before UFC Freedom 250 on the South Lawn. MAGA Inc. is set to host a $1 million per person fundraiser Saturday at Trump National Golf Club in Northern Virginia, according to Newsmax. The dinner comes one day before UFC Freedom Fights 250 White House South Lawn, an event facing federal lawsuit alleging it violates park regulations. MAGA Inc. has built a war chest reportedly exceeding $550 million for the 2026 midterms, fueled by tech and crypto donors, according to Bloomberg.
Can you get that?
Yeah, let me get him because he's stuck, guys. Give me a second.
Miguel just locked himself out of the room, guys. That's what just happened.
He was supposed to be pushing ones and twos. Instead, he was pushing ones and twos on the lock.
What I do is that's why it got taken down. You can just hang one of those bags on one of the hooks on the door, and that way it doesn't like smack the wall when it closes. That's what I usually do. But it doesn't have one of those door stoppers, so the handle just smacks the wall and it locks it.
That's funny. It's funny when you know, like, what to do when it locks. If you have something to unlock it, if you don't know, that shit could fuck you up for a bit.
Yeah, these doors are pretty easy to unlock once you get the hang of like how it works. I can see you were trying to figure it out there.
I heard the click though. It didn't unlock.
Yeah, there's like a little peg that you have to push straight in, and so what probably happens, you were pushing on it and like the thing like slipped, and that's why like the click that you heard. Yeah, they can be a little annoying. Emily gets mad at them all the time, like especially if I'm playing video games. She's trying to get into the room and the fucking lock won't like open or whatever, and I can't get up to unlock it in the moment.
Eddie, would you play the new Ride MMO?
What? So it's just what is it? What's it called?
It's gonna be well, it's kind of in the works at the moment. It kind of was just announced to be released somewhere between 2028 and 2030.
Oh damn.
Yeah, because they hired one of the very big known PvP systems developer or creator, and he kind of said some shit on Twitter, and people are making all these assumptions based on it. They don't have a name for it, but he did give out that the world of Runeterra.
I've heard of that.
So they kind of already have like a world developed and stuff like that, and they're just now playtesting it. But playtesting could mean
a lot
anything.
of things. Yeah. So by MMO, is it essentially gonna be like, give me like a comparison of game that
World
we're
of
expecting?
Warcraft, but League of Legends universe.
Okay. Probably not. I mean, it's just never been like my kind of game. I've tried a few out, you know, but yeah, I don't know. Never really been my kind of game, I guess. Just depends, really. How many people are playing it that I know are around me that are investing time? How much the game costs? If it is gonna cost anything, it might be free.
You got a shit ton of money. I've been funding them for a couple years.
That is true. Yeah, I've never been the type to funnel money into games.
It's just that specific. I don't funnel games just to funnel games. I just pay the ones that I actually really like playing.
Yeah, but like I enjoy a lot of games, and I have a lot of time in a lot of games too, and like I just never.
But also the ones that are like going to last like a long time, probably like years.
Yeah, I guess the only game you could say I've funneled money into is Tarkov, but that's just upgrading my version, and it's not like I can funnel any more money than I already have into it. Like it's not like extra
Over
shit I can buy.
$500.
No, no, way less.
So you were asking me this: SpaceX IPO demand tops 250 billion, nearly 4 times oversubscribed. The rocket and satellite company's record 75 billion offering is set to price Wednesday, with trading on Nasdaq expected Thursday. SpaceX has drawn over 250 billion in investor interest for its 75 billion IPO, nearly 4 times oversubscribed, according to Reuters. Institutional order books closed Wednesday at 4 p.m. in New York, with pricing expected June 11th, and Nasdaq trading under the ticket SPCX on June 12th. Up to 30% of the offering, roughly to 22.5 billion, is earmarked for retail investors, far exceeding the typical 5 to 10 allocation per the Financial Times. So there you go. So it's gonna open huge. Like the price is gonna be insane when it opens. Like I wouldn't be surprised if it's in like 500s per share.
Damn.
hmm Yeah, because they're already talking about how if he goes IPO, he's becoming a trillionaire. Like that's what they're talking about at this point.
And how many are they dishing out?
What? How many shares? Well, it doesn't say, but usually when they apply for shares, when they file it for SEC, it's like 1 billion shares or some ridiculous number, and then what they'll do from there, then they'll chop up the shares, so that 1 billion can turn into 10, 100 billion, depending how they're gonna chop it up.
Shit.
Yeah, but bottom line, this is done for that specific reason, so people cannot go ahead and buy it all up. You know what I mean? That's why it's not like that.
And how? So essentially, like, cause like you gotta like break this down. Like I'm an elementary school kid, right?
Okay.
Um. So, the company's essentially going public.
So
right?
this is
that's essentially
Mhm.
what's happening.
So let's
right?
start from the beginning.
How much of the like company is able to be completely split into shares? How much is that still going to be owned by him? How is that all going to work?
So let's break it down like to the bare bottom minimum, right? What is the reason that companies go public? Most of the time, the reason they go public is because the outside money is actually what funds the company. Because at that point, when you're working on projects, a simply $1 billion, $2 billion loan is not good enough. And then good luck even securing a $1 or $2 billion loan, unless it's some group that comes in, a venture capital, and says we're going to give you an infusion, but we want X amount of ownership within the company. Then the company structure is changed, depending on that. A lot of that is also, since it's a private company, a lot of the employees own a lot of the shares or own stock options, so on and so forth, before it even goes IPO, right? So when they do go IPO and they file it with SEC, they put a certain specific amount of shares. It could just put 1 trillion shares, right? Most of the 1 trillion shares gonna go out, right? He's gonna be maybe holder of like 5% or 10% or something like that, but he's still gonna be the majority owner of all the shares, right? It's not like a 50% or
Right. He just needs to own higher percent than anybody else.
yeah. And then within the company bylaws, they'll include like self-destruct clause. There's a technical term for it, but for the sake of explanation, self-destruct clause, which means that any given fund or person cannot buy over X amount of shares, or cannot do this, or cannot do that. It's basically it's done for hostile takeovers. So what's a hostile takeover? Somebody comes in, buys out majority shares, and says, "Now I'm the captain now," right? So for not to happen, they put what's called a poison pill clause. Anytime the poison pill is tripped, that's it. Like you can't go past that, right? So they protect themselves with poison pills, and this is why owners of the company can hold only like 10% or 20% stake in a company and still run the entire company as the owner, right? And that usually that number to 20%, they're always going to be the majority stakeholder, right?
Right.
And then what happens with that, when companies are going IPO, they'll contact multiple institutional investors, whether it's JP Morgan Chase, whether it's Citibank, whether it's, Wells Fargo with Fidelity, all big investment companies, and say, hey, listen, we're going IPO. Are you able to sell our shares? Can we get a commitment from you? And what would be the commitment? And then company then disseminates the information to their financial advisors that says only high net worth individuals, we want a commitment. Frenzy starts, right? Because
who gets what?
Who gets what? Because what usually happens, you and I cannot just go and buy an IPO. We can't. We simply cannot go and do that because we're not what's considered a sophisticated investor, right? To be a sophisticated investor, you have to have X amount of money in your bank account or invested, so on and so forth, to hit that mark. Once you hit that mark, you can go ahead and purchase the shares, right? Because it's considered a risky investment, so it's not designed for an average retail client. However, in this case, just like it said, they did give a little more for the retail than usual. Talk about the valuation too. Yeah, so they gave a little more to the retail clients than usual. So basically what's going to happen, once they get the indication of interest, then they stack up these people. This person wants this much, this person wants this much, this person wants this much. It doesn't mean that you're going to get that. Whatever is allocated gets divided evenly. There cannot be some sort of oh, I'm going to give you all this because you're a good client. It has to be divided evenly. You know what I mean? Depending on interest.
So basically, Citibank or
JP Morgan, or
any of these big investment thing, they go and tell, in this case, SpaceX, right? Or they go and tell who how much they're committed.
So SpaceX will hire a company that works as a middleman usually to get the interest. Okay. Now this is
when they go back to them with a report saying, okay, we have X amount of people that are willing to invest X amount on average.
Yeah.
Right. But then SpaceX will come back and say, okay, we're only gonna allot you this much, and then that whatever that is, you have to divide exactly evenly across all clients that were interested.
Pretty much. So the actual initial idea was 75 billion, but there's a 250 billion dollar interest, which means a lot of investors won't get the shares that they asked for, right? So it just goes by now. Can you pull up the valuation? I don't remember what was the whole valuation. The valuation part comes in, and basically they hire the company that does the valuation, looks at all the numbers, this and that, the third, and says they're going IPO, we're valuing this company at X. Yeah. This is the valuation for it. Go ahead. What was the SpaceX pre-IPO valuation before they go IPO? So once this valuation hits the deck, they're like, okay, all these accountants looked at things, did this, did that, the third, the fourth. So right now, reported IPO target is 1.75 trillion to $2 trillion. There you go.
They started talking about billions, and then they got into the trillions quick.
Yep. And this is why Elon is going to be the first trillionaire ever. So yeah, that's basically what it is. Yeah, this is a huge amount of money. This is an insane amount of money. $1.75 trillion. That's literally in economies of several countries combined. It's probably the entire economy of Africa.
Bro, Elon's at a point where it doesn't matter if he loses everything. He can just keep like just a little bit, just a little, like 0.2% of what he's got.
That is not. That's not true. That's not how it works. It's like, okay. It's like me saying I am a rich person because I have a huge cologne collection. Yes, it's worth a lot of money, right? But if I were to go and sell all my colognes, I would never pull that amount of money that I think I have invested into the colognes.
No, that's mostly with anything.
Does that make sense? So as a matter of fact, the minute I start dumping all my colognes, think of shares as colognes. The minute I start dumping all my colognes, the market, which is people that would be buying the colognes from me, is like, why is he dumping these colognes? What's wrong with these colognes? Are they rotten? Are they bad? Why is he suddenly dumping them all? So what's going to happen, the share price is going to go down and going to go hit down to a zero, most likely. because you as an owner are dumping all these shares, right? So at the end of the day, so it's $1.75 trillion valuation, right? So he'll get a nice chunk of that as a share owner, because he's not going to get the 1.75 obviously $1 trillion or the $2 trillion, but he will be a trillionaire for sure. Um, yes, it is overvalued. It is overvalued. Um,
But let's say
SpaceX
hypothetically,
generates tax money. Basically, that's how they make their money. It's a government contract, so it's basically they're the only game in town that does this.
Oh, now you have NASA.
Well,
They're not-
NASA contracted SpaceX. That's where they get the money from.
Yeah.
SpaceX does the shit for NASA.
Not. Well,
And on
they-
top of that, they also do. On top of that, they also do the satellites. They also do all this other stuff, the Starlink and all that shit. They do all that as well, but NASA is basically funding the entire SpaceX projects. Do you see what I'm saying?
the government, yeah, as a
Yeah,
whole.
the government. What were you saying, Mickey?
let's just say hypothetically he just lost everything or didn't want to do this shit no more. He's fucking straight for life. It doesn't matter if he loses all his fucking like equity or whatever.
All he has to do is sell like a 10% of all of his owning or all of his companies. Just sell 10% combined total of all of his companies. He's set for life. But I don't think for Elon money
He's set for
matters.
generations.
He's over generation, yes. But I don't think he's after money, right? Because if he were after the money, he would have a nice house. He got a little makeshift, little tiny home that
He's
they
not the
brought
type,
over.
He's got too many goals and too many commitments already
Yeah.
in the future.
But what I want to pay attention to more than anything with Elon, he was having this conversation. I don't remember what it was. He was invited on this. It was an interview, and he was talking about universal high income. And they asked him, what do you mean by that? He's like, well, he goes, all the goods and services are going to be available throughout the world for everyone to get, right? There's going to be no shortage of anything. Everybody's going to be able to get what they want, basically, right? So governments were just going to pay him what's called a universal high income, right? Just because you're not going to have a job, his shit's going to be just given to you. And the guy asked him, are you going to be working? He said, I will try to. And not in a sense that because there is no need for him to work, but because even if he tried, AI is still going to be smarter than him, and he'll try to work, but AI is still going to replace him. So his point was that AI will replace everyone, and there's going to be a universal income. So I went down the rabbit hole. I was talking to my buddy, and he had good questions about this, and he was saying, well, it's impossible. It cannot be. There's no foundation. It's all like a bubble. It would just implode on itself. Because if people have no money, how are they going to pay the companies? If they're not working, they're not earning money. How are they paying the companies to get the goods and services for companies to continue doing the AI, right? Which makes sense. And I went down the rabbit hole, and it's pretty interesting what they're going to do about it, because it's gonna take years. It's not going to happen within the first 5, 10, or even 20 or 30 years, right? And I asked the AI, I was like, okay, well, as fast as the AI had been progressing, and give me your ballpark figure. Just give me an educated guess. Don't give me. And he was saying that within 50 years, 70% of humanity will not have a job. 30% will still work, but 70% will not have a job. And the ones that will work are blue collar employees, the ones that need a human interaction, direct human interaction, meaning whether it's building a house, building a wall, so on and so forth. Until robots come in and replace that, then that's that.
My question is, if you have 70% of the people that don't have a job, and you have to give them some sort of universal income, what keeps the other 30% from saying, fuck you, why do I work?
Because the other 30% are going to be millionaires. Those are the ones that are going to earn all the money. Because think about it, because they're going to be scarce. It's already happening. A lot more younger people are going into trades. Whether it's welding, you see women and men across the board, more men than women, of course. Some doing welding, some doing whatever. But majority of labor-intensive jobs are done by younger generation now. They're going into this, and those are going to be the new millionaires. Like those are going to be Tech giants are going to still stay there. Tech giants are going to be tech giants no matter what. The AI is going to generate money, but those are going to be your blue collar workers are going to be your millionaires. That's the basics of it. But that's not the problem. So if your 70% of your community doesn't work, where is that money coming from? How is the government going to get that money? If they don't earn anything, they don't pay into taxes. How are they paying the universal income, right? So that was an interesting question to go over and look into it. And AI kind of broke it down. They said it's just going to be the AI companies going to basically create an economy where AI companies are now becoming the citizens, where they're the ones that paying the government, and government basically takes care of all the brokies that don't have jobs and gives them a universal income.
Have you ever heard this term gray collar work?
Gray collar, no. What is it?
So I asked Google, like, is photography and videography considered blue collar? Because you have to do physical, right? You have to go out and do the actual stuff. It says basically it's in between. It's considered what's considered gray collar work, because it blends the creative artistry of white collar professions with the hands-on physical and technical demands of skilled trades. So it's in between.
In between, yeah. So, but the bottom line is, anything that doesn't require human, and the Palantir CEO came out and said there's going to be two types of people that are going to be working. Two types only: blue collar work and people that have autism, because they can think outside of the box.
Who said that?
Palantir CEO.
Okay.
So they said all the other people are basically going to be out of the picture. They're just not going to be working. Because at this point, AI can write its own code. AI can connect AI can connect programs together, pull information from one to another one, have tasks completed instead of you, so on and so forth, right? So, basically, people that still are being, if the government's still mandating somebody to look into this, for example, like the defense contractors, so on and so forth, unions will hold up a little bit, but they'll go as well. Unions will hold up longer, but they'll go as well. But the majority of it is going to be, if the government is requiring regulators for somebody to go in there, physically touch it, look at it, sign it, do this, they're still going to be in a picture. They're still going to be doing that until they slowly phase that out as well, until government says, yeah, this is okay because we know the AI does it right. And then they'll phase those out as well. You know what I mean? So
I'm still just like racking my brain. Like every time we talk about this and AI taking over jobs, which is a topic, we mention pretty often.
No, it's gonna happen.
I always keep thinking about like what parts of my job that I know will go the quickest, and what parts of my job will be the last.
So
because there's multiple aspects to like mine and Miguel's job. It's not like, I mean, is there certain things we do the most? Like Miguel's mostly just mostly does photo editing. That's like his niche, right? But does Miguel also know how to go and update a Shopify website and go shoot video and do studio work and do all these other things? Yeah, Miguel knows how to do that. And like the same thing with me, right? I have like a niche almost, but not really. And just the different tasks. There's a large list of tasks that we have to handle. And yeah, there's probably 50 to 60% of those that I think can be easily replaced by AI eventually. But there's like another 30 to 40% of them that I look at as like, how would it do that?
But see, here's the thing. It's not that
there
AI...
is an argument to that as well, right? Yes, you can replace it with AI, but you're still going to see that it's AI. You know what I mean? Like, there's this other thing that you can only get when... You can say that, but there's people that are willing to pay that premium price just because it's an actual human that did it.
Yeah. It's like, it's gonna go down until it becomes, let's say, what's called a Giffen good, right? Ferrari, Patek Philippe. It's just nobody's gonna care, right? Like an average person, an average consumer is not gonna care, right? So, and it's not that the AI is gonna completely get rid of your job. That's not the question. The question is, AI is gonna get rid of tasks that you do.
I would argue that it would get rid of all the novice photographers, and it would make it harder for people to get better at the trade.
Correct. That's already done.
Which would eliminate.
Yes, that's already happening.
I can agree with.
Yeah, 38%. I think, if I remember the number correctly, I read 38%.
I have an argument against that.
New jobs are not there anymore.
I have an argument against that in the sense where, like a novice photographer would be able to use AI and eventually be able to produce the same level work as what you look at as a crazy high level photographer now. If novice, so why would you pay the crazy high level guy with 10 years experience that charges you $10,000 for the shoot when the guy that does it for 1,000
Are
uses
you
AI.
saying use all AI or leveraging AI tools?
Both.
No, I know what.
Because you can leverage AI tools and still be like very authentic.
So
but when you just say generate this and then it just generates that.
But like Jay said, they're not gonna care at a certain point.
so let me just. You both are correct. You are both correct.
Yeah, I believe we
You
are
both
too.
are correct.
I think there's a
here's
way of looking at it both ways.
So here's how it's gonna happen. It's not gonna come in and say, "Well, I'm eliminating Jay's or Eddie's or Miguel's job." No, it's gonna come in. AI is gonna come in and say, "Jay's doing this, Eddie's doing this, and Miggy's doing this. We can do this with AI. So Jay and Eddie do not have to do this, and then Jay and Eddie do not have to do the second and the third and the fourth thing. Now Jay and Eddie are stuck half a day twiddling their thumbs. The owners come in and say, "Well, if they're twiddling their thumbs, what we're gonna do? We're gonna eliminate one of the employees and divide whatever he has left between Eddie and Miguel." Eventually it's going to happen where it's going to eliminate more stuff of your plate and his plate, and they're going to eliminate another employee, and Miguel is going to get the brunt of it, right? So when I did the numbers, it said within 10 years, between 35% of the jobs, 35% of people are not going to have jobs. 10 years, 35%. And this goes up to 70. So we have another 35%, another 35% within 40 years. So it gradually tapers off how many people are now going to have a job, right? Like the number gradually stops increasing as rapidly, right? But what you're saying is there's a reverse side of things, because somebody like you and Miggy been already working with AI, you've been already editing, you've been already doing it. So you not only you have the experience, you also have the know-how. Is there a young person that's going to come in entry-level job that's going to know better than you? Yes, there's always the outlier that's going to come in, know the job better than you. They're going to be able to edit better than you. But the majority of those people are not going to have the experience, know the technical skills to even understand what you guys are doing. So the bottom line is this: understanding AI, learning skills to work with AI, and continually gaining experience by doing it firsthand while you're in a field, because new people don't even know that exists. Like in philosophy, you have three things. It's called known knowns, known unknowns, and unknown unknowns, right? Like basically, known knowns is something that you know and you know how it works. Known unknowns, it's something that you know exists, but you don't know what the outcome of it is. And unknown unknown is you don't even know that exists. For you, this is a known unknown, right? Like what's gonna happen, you know what it is and you don't know what's gonna happen. But for a novice, it's an unknown unknown. He doesn't even know that shit exists. Until he gets to that point, it's gonna be too late, because for you it's gonna be a known known already.
I get what you're saying.
Make sense? So it skips a step. And then somebody's gonna come in since they're little, so since they're 2 years old, they've been messing, because they're autistic, messing with AI, doing their thing. They have the, not necessarily in a derogatory manner, I'm saying autistic, like they have the inclination to think about things the other way around. So they're going to mess with the AI, and then there's going to be some guy that's going to be a savant about photo editing. So everyone's going to want to hire him because he's going to be better than 10 people within that company.
Yeah.
See what I mean? So it's not necessarily that you're right or he's right, or you're wrong, he's wrong. It's in between. It's like both of things taken and then some other shit that we don't even know exists. So, but AI is coming. It's taking on. But the biggest part is, how is this going to be financed? If you have a bunch of people that don't have jobs, how is this going to be financed? And remember, no matter how you chuck it, greed is greed. People are greedy. So that universal income is basically going to be sort of like a minimum wage, right? They're not equal. Minimum wage, you go work and you get your minimum wage. This is going to be like minimum wage for not working, basically.
We had to figure out the same thing that the people that lost their jobs back then doing odd jobs did. You remember? Like those people that went knocking people's windows to wake them up?
Yeah.
There used to be a job. People would go and get paid to knock on people to wake their...
Yeah. So that's what it is. People that have been going around knocking on people's windows to wake them up were replaced by alarm clocks. AI is the alarm clock. Yeah. And we're still knocking on people's windows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is why they're saying that the blue-collar work is not going to be replaced, because you're literally putting in windows and doing this. There's no robots that can do that yet. Right? But with progression of AI, that's going to come too. And I don't think it's going to happen within my time, but it definitely happened within your time, guys. Unless they come up with a pill where I can extend my life.
That's not really that much of a difference of time, bro. Like
it is. Well, no, because
like
remember,
15. You're like what? 15 years older than me and him.
About 20, almost 20.
Okay, almost 20.
Almost 20. But remember, AI is exponentially growing. It's grown exponentially. Its IQ growing exponentially higher and higher and higher with every year. So AI intelligence is growing faster as years progress. So AI is going to be smarter in those 20 years than in an entire 100 before it.
It's funny because just 2.5 years ago, we were having the conversation about how technology started to
Kind of like
plateau.
Yeah, and then I don't know if you noticed, now they're talking about now that quantum computing has been booming. A lot of people are investing into quantum computing because they're realizing that AI is actually going to come in and boost quantum computing, because we hit a point where we couldn't go past certain hurdles when it came to quantum computing. Now they're showing signs that they're actually starting to break through those walls. So quantum computing is taking over. So pretty soon we're all going to have these little tiny cubes sitting in our house. They're going to be quantum computers.
Yeah, right. They're going to be sitting in the back of your fucking neck. That's
yeah.
where they're going to be sitting.
And another thing was Anthropic's that powerful version of their AI basically cracked all the Windows kernels and patches within 30 minutes and was able to generate exploits for it. Each exploit cost about $2,000 in tokens to generate. So AI is literally like breaking computer code. So pretty soon, not even iPhones are going to be private, where FBI cannot break it. They will need a black box, and when there's not going to be a question about it. If they want to get into your iPhone, they're going to get into your iPhone. Encryption is not going to work, right? And this specific AI version was only given to several big tech companies, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, to basically boast up their security, right?
We didn't talk about the Amazon rocket that blew up.
Oh, sure.
I didn't see a video of it. Could you find one? I also heard my buddy at work told me about something about a fireworks factory somewhere blew up.
It was a truck that basically lit on fire on a highway.
I haven't seen one of these in a while.
Pop.
Oof. That's a mighty big fire. Lord Jesus, a fire.
That shit looked like an atomic bomb, bro. I've always.
Can you imagine living in that area and
look,
not knowing about it going on?
Look all that, like, it looks like snow, bro. Just falling
It's
pieces
all the amber
of snow.
With all the shit that burned up.
Mm.
Dude, you're on like the fucking beach and you see that. Look, he's got a nice cinematic palm tree in the foreground.
Damn Ruskies attacked. Iran attacked. President, help us.
It's the commies.
It's the commies, yeah. Yeah, so basically 2 helicopters went down, and Trump vowed for retaliation.
Oh, I didn't know
They
about
were already
this.
doing drone strikes, I believe, 4 hours ago.
Yeah. Yeah, Trump is not laying off of it. The whole thing about, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I read this wrong.
Yeah, so basically he bombed him again.
I heard he got not he, but I heard there was another ceasefire between Israel and Palestine.
Well,
that
no
correct?
longer.
Huh?
No
There's,
longer.
2 hours
No?
ago.
No longer? That already ended too?
Well, this, sure.
2 hours ago, U.S. Central Command says strikes on Iran are over. They said minutes ago that the strikes against Iran in response to a downed helicopter are over. CENTCOM forces struck Iranian air defense ground control stations and
Iran, I
surveillance
guess.
radar sites near the Strait of Hormuz with precision munitions from the U.S. Air Force and Navy fighter jets. They just blew some more shit up. More dirt.
Pretty much. Pretty
Ain't
much.
got shit, bro. Fuck, they blew a helicopter. Let's go fucking nuke some land. Let's just do something. Let's do dummy practice.
No,
over
they
there.
do hit, they do strike things, and they do destroy stuff. But the problem is they done destroyed everything there is to destroy there. You know what I mean? There's not much left.
They don't give a fuck
Yeah, they're just literally like, they're out there, with their eyes and binoculars going beep, 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 beep. This is how rockets are reaching them, you know what I mean, at this point, by somebody looking at things, just, I mean, there's not much left there. Like, the country doesn't want to give up. They got their regime going. You can't go in there because here's the problem. I'm totally against any type of a land invasion of United States. Yeah, over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, over there. Any United States soldiers going in there and doing a land invasion. At this point, this is literally the last step. This is the last thing that's left is an actual land invasion. But to me is this, since Israel doesn't like this situation with Iran, why don't they go and land invade? Send your troops and invade on land. Why are you waiting for United States to do that?
And Trump recently has been pretty fucking mad at Bibi.
Yes, and he's been pretty mad at Bibi because Bibi be fucking up a lot. Trump will tell him not to do something and he does it, so I don't even know, like, I understand the ties and all that stuff, I get it, but at the same time, like, where Bibi has been fucking literally named by international court against crimes against humanity. Like, he literally at this point he needs jail time. He's basically sentenced for jail time.
Yeah, but if you're not on that list, you're not popular.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And that's the bottom line, right? Like, but that's literally what it's left. It's ground control, ground invasion, and taking over territories and controlling the territories because you keep bombing them, they're going to come out under the rubble and they're still controlling the territory and they're still doing whatever they want, right? Like, there's got to be a complete sweep, complete sanitization of the entire country, getting rid of all their leaders and taking over the government and replacing the government. That's the only step left because we done bombed everything there is to bomb. They don't have anything else left to bomb.
They don't quite have the method of way the way of changing a regime yet. They're kind of experimenting with Venezuela, see what they're doing here.
But they can. Iran is one of those countries. It's a very big country with a very difficult terrain.
Completely different.
Yeah, Venezuela. Like, you can't just go in a country you know nothing about, no preparation, nothing, and try to take over a huge ass country. There's a lot of territory. Those mobile command centers are pretty mobile. They can up and leave in the mountains. I mean, look at it this way: for the past 50 years we've been fighting with Afghanistan. 50 years. No one yet to take over Afghanistan. No one. Russians tried, left with their tails behind their legs. America tried, we left Afghanistan because we couldn't do anything about it. Like, who's to tell that Iran is not going to fight the same way? You know what I mean? With that Mujahideen style from the holes in a mountains. You know what I mean?
Shit, they got people leading the country from outside of the country.
That's what I'm saying. Like
back then when you left the country, boom, you were exiled. You had no power. Nobody listened to you.
Yes.
Now it's different. You're outside the country sending commands, and they're still doing shit.
Yep. And it all kind of goes back down to the hate towards Israel that these neighboring countries have, right? Like, they're all kind of united against Israel, right? And let's say Miggy doesn't like the neighbor, right? And let's say Miggy is...
That's a good example. I don't like my neighbor.
Yeah, Miggy is Israel, and he doesn't like the neighbor. And he's like, fuck this, I'm going to start throwing rocks into the neighbor's fucking yard. Starts throwing rocks in it, hits his window, fucking breaks his roof, does all kinds of shit, right? Neighbor says, you know what? Miggy is too strong. He's too young. I can't fuck him up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go out there and throw rocks into Eddie's and Jay's fucking yard because they're friends with Miggy. That's literally what happened.
That would be my back neighbors.
Yeah. And yeah, that's literally...
That would literally be my back neighbors.
Yeah, that's literally what happened. And that's what Iran literally did. Hit Kuwait, hit this, hit that. Like, they weren't, like, directly hitting the United States because it's like, oh, well, United States too fucking far. Miggy's too far. I can't throw the rock that far, but can throw it, like, right into Eddie's and Jay's fucking, yard. So that's the basics of it. And then at one point, you're going to alienate your friends because they're, like, getting hit by some shit that you did. You know what I mean? Your friends are going to be pissed about it, right? So now you got to have a conversation with them. We're going to infuse a bunch of money with you so you can, like, figure it out. But at the same time, you're spending money by fucking bombing another country. At the same time, you're aiding Israel. There's just, like, a lot of money going out. You know what I mean? So, He's between a rock and a hard place, you know. I don't know. I don't know how well this whole shit show was planned.
I think
Number
it's funny
one.
because like I get no like political stuff. I don't on my like Instagram and stuff, except for when he falls asleep at meetings.
No, no, no. We all get that. We all get that. Yeah, I don't get any political like that stuff either. Like I actually have to watch podcasts. I have to read the news to
Yeah.
even get any of this information.
All I get on my Instagram is him I saw one like 2 days ago.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like the caption said Trump takes another long blink during Oval Office meeting.
Yeah. I mean, think about it, bro. Homeboy is 78 years old, right?
No, he's older than that.
He's older than that now. He's 80 some.
I think he's like 79, 80 at this point.
Yeah. Well, there you go. 79, 80, right? I think if this continues the way it does, we're gonna see another Biden type of situation.
They didn't like that.
Hold of the what?
I looked up how old is Big Trump.
But you put hold.
Can't spell.
How old? Yeah.
How old the Donald Trump?
Look, I was typing something.
79.
79.
He's 79 years old,
He'll
so
turn
he's got
80 in a few days.
3
June
more
14th.
years. So that means he's gonna retire when he's 83. 83, bro. Homeboy
14th,
needs
yeah,
naps, bro. That's
yeah.
79 years. He heavy. He's 6 something, and he's heavy. He needs naps, bro. He needs them cat naps.
will give myself the beautiful country of Cuba. Yes, I will.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
What's
listen.
going on with that?
Nothing, jack shit.
He just keeps talking shit and that's it?
We're just hoping. We're just hoping he makes some historic move. Maybe he's like waiting until July 11th, which is like a special historic day in Cuba.
Bro, you know what was the funniest part of all this thing? All the Democrats came out. Look at this fucking asshole. He's saying he's gonna take Cuba. This and that, the third. Blah blah blah. Talking all this shit. I was like, motherfuckers, what do you know about Cuba? Like, what do why are you even saying your opinion about Cuba? You never lived there. You don't have any family there. You don't know shit about shit. It's like, what if these people want the country to be aligned with the United States?
Shit, send them over there for a month. They'll come back and go, we need to help these people.
Yeah.
We need to.
Yeah, just like, you know, both sides are just like, well, they'll find the most tiniest thing and make a big fucking argument, big deal about it. You know how sometimes, like you'll see this, Karens will do that. Like, a lot of ladies will resort this type of tactic where they know they're fucking wrong, but they'll start, like, talking shit and then get you all riled up. And when you're riled up, it's like, see, I told you, this is the kind of abusive man he is.
Screaming
You know what I mean?
screaming
But they were the
loud
one that
enough
is,
so that it tries to make other
yeah,
people
just to
around
get
believe
attention.
that
Yep,
you're
that
right.
you were the big bad wolf. You know what I mean? And that's what Democrats do. And, well, not that just Democrats. The Republicans do the same shit. This is what these politicians do. Like, they'll on the side, they'll poke you, and then they'll, what? You know?
Candace Owens and Nate or Tate were in Moscow.
They were?
Yeah.
Oof.
What the hell were they doing there?
Candace Owens was at a financial something conference.
Yeah, okay. Getting paid off.
And Tate was doing something else, but he got huge greeting with like dancers and the traditional dance where they greet you with bread because it's customary.
Yeah. Dude, it's, what they're doing, they're aligning themselves.
Candace Owens is talking about Moscow is so beautiful. We've been lied to in the West.
No, so
Dude,
what?
someone gotta look at her and go, blink twice if you need help.
No. Candace is aligning herself. This is like she's showing that she's aligning herself with that, because there's been a long time talks happening that Russians silently have been like poisoning the West and West ideology because they want to be the ones that are going to lead the world, and they're slowly been poisoning the well, right? And these people, whether they have some sort of a knowledge, whether they believe they have the knowledge, they're aligning themselves to who they believe is going to win the war, basically, or at the very least dipping their toes to see what the offer is, right? So in the United States, if you look at it, Candace Owens then got basically canceled from everything. You know what I mean? They called her a racist, they called her a misogynist, they called her all kinds of words, damn near canceled her. The whole Charlie Kirk thing was another nail in her coffin, where she came out and said that the wife did it, basically, and the whole conspiracy theories about that. And Candace Owens had a good following, but she's been phased out. You don't hear about her as much unless she does some shit like that. So I think she's choosing her alliances. She sees that there's nothing left here for her in the United States, so she's probably trying to cash in on that bag.
Well, lucky for her, she's not a guy, so they don't need her in the front lines.
Yeah, basically, because the Republicans basically said, "Okay, we don't need you anymore. You've done. You done did yours." You know. So right now, I don't see anyone really that's like spearheading the Republican nor the Democrat party's PR per se, right? Like basically being the face for the younger generation, the ones that are on YouTube, the ones that are on social media. I don't see anyone like that. A lot of people are trying to do it. Myron Gaines is one of them, but he's very radical, as far as he's very, 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 very nationalist radical. So he's not gonna cut it. You know, he's like Charlie Crow. He's like Charlie Croker on steroids, basically, and he's been doing a lot of that. All the other people just kind of took a back burner. A bunch of young creators are trying to fill that space in for Charlie Kirk, but they don't have anyone. You know. So
You guys good to wrap it up for today?
but I think PBD has been pushing hard and heavy.
I haven't
Patrick
been
Bet-David.
seeing as much of his stuff anymore.
Yeah, he's podcast, bro, is growing in numbers, right? So yeah, he's probably one of the biggest political podcasts on YouTube right now.
Yeah, I haven't been seeing much of his
Because
stuff. I
all the
used to
other
get a lot of
ones,
his shit.
yeah, all the other ones are basically either their episodes either get demonetized or this or that, so they're all behind a paywall. They'll show you like a first 30 minutes to an hour, and they say, okay, go behind a paywall to get the rest of the content.
Patreon or whatever.
PBD just saying, nope, we're going to sell merch and we're going to sell out of the merch, and this is how we're going to finance all of that, and then everything else we got going on is going to finance our media company. So they're not going behind a paywall, even though, let's say, if they're not getting paid for it.
Right. They don't care about the monetization.
Exactly.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and we will see you guys this Thursday. Peace.
Peace.